Hello. I am Accidental CISO, back for another episode of Throttle Therapy. This is an absolutely beautiful road, but the traffic is less than beautiful today. If you haven't listened to any of my prior videos, go back and give them a listen. We cover some ground before we get to this point, but today I want to talk about recovering from burnout and what that has been like. It's been a very interesting roller coaster, to say the least. Once I took control of my life and regained control over what I worked on and when I worked and the pace that I worked at, and was able to get the mental space back and the mental capacity to really start thinking and focusing on recovery. It's different than I would have expected. It took me years to get to the point of burnout. I am probably a year and a half, 2 years kind of into it, although the first year I kind of regressed a little bit towards the end. So coming up really on the end of the first year of really conscious burnout recovery now, and I think I have at least another year to go before I'm going to feel mostly like I would have felt had I not been burned out to begin with. And in that year, I have found that it is a very emotional journey. One way to describe it is, as my body and brain and heart recover, the emotions that go along with it, it's like parts of me are coming back online that haven't been online for a long time. You know, if you think about the exhaustion and feeling numb and not knowing what you're feeling, not really processing your feelings and those types of things, not having the energy to deal with all of that, and to suddenly start having that stuff come back up and register. It really honestly felt like there were parts of me coming back online, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes it would go a little while, but it would always surprise me when it happened. And so it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, and at times I felt unstable and couldn't really explain why, as I was finally able to start feeling and dealing with what I was feeling again and recognizing it. That side of it, like, there would be some days where, for no apparent reason at all, I would just feel like, utter garbage, and just like I need to go cry or something. And other days I would feel fantastic. And these weren't like extended swings. This wasn't like a, bipolar kind of thing exactly, but it was difficult for me to explain and understand, and I had to just be prepared for the fact that, one day to the next, I might feel things that I didn't have a good reason to feel. There were times during that year that I was working in that new environment, trying to recover from burnout, and things would happen. Somebody would say something. Maybe they would use a phrase that leadership in my prior company had used, but had used in a way that was toxic or abusive, to gaslight the team, or to push and push boundaries and not respect boundaries. And there were times that somebody would say something and I would respond out of context, and I felt terrible at it after the fact. And I was glad that I was working with a friend who I could have open and honest conversations with. But I realized in talking to him afterwards, I would respond very strongly, very emotionally to things in ways that didn't make sense to other people in the room. And the fact that I was responding in the present to things that had happened in the past and maybe the way a phrase had been used in the past, and responding to the people in the past in a totally different environment, where the people that I was working with weren't connected in any way, shape, or form with those people in that other environment. They had never worked with them, they didn't know them, and it wasn't fair to them. So that was something that I realized that I was going to have to be very careful of as well. And as I've been working this year on my own company and trying to make sure that I'm doing things that I enjoy, and, you know, finding joy in life again, and spending time with family and friends and things, and those parts of me are coming back online. One of the big things that came back online was my creativity. And that was a double-edged sword, because as my creativity came back, I would feel motivated to do things and take on projects and potentially commit myself to things that I wasn't ready to commit to. So I have to be careful, and I still have to be careful today. I'm doing this YouTube channel because I felt that it is really important to get out there. But there is a piece of me that feels like I have to be very careful with it, because it's one more thing that I need to be doing and putting my energy and effort into. And so as I've been recovering and starting feeling like doing things again, I've had to be very careful that I'm staying true to my priorities, and staying true to staying true to what I need of myself and what my family needs of me first and foremost. And it's been difficult to slow roll the year, because there's so much that I can do with my company, but I only have so much capacity. And I have had to catch myself and tell myself, nope, this is something to do for tomorrow. Don't stay up late and do it. No, don't start that project. Start that project next month. You need to finish what you've already started first. It's been difficult to hold myself back when the creativity kicks in. So I have had to take a very mindful focus to recovering, because it would be very easy to let myself spiral back into it. Like I mentioned, my own culpability in the last video. You know, now it's my own company. I'm building this for me. I have nobody but me to blame if I let it get out of control. It was so important to me that I actually named the company, and my entire company strategy and marketing to a good deal is based on mindfulness and focus. And it's a constant reminder to me that I need to keep being careful. But as you can imagine, it is a very slow process, and it's not linear. You know, that emotional roller coaster, the highs and lows, you can recover, you know, make good progress one week and backslide the next. I have had to make sure that I'm getting really good sleep. That's one of the things I'm trying to focus on, is that I'm actually going to bed on time, but I'm also making sure that I've got a good routine and getting up in the morning and that sort of thing. Something else I started doing with journaling, and I try to journal every day. I don't catch it every single day. Most weekdays I've been pretty good at it. Whatever I feel like writing that day, I write about. Sometimes it's writing about projects and what I'm thinking about work-wise with the company. Some days it's about what I'm feeling, and other days it's about what I'm doing with the kids and my wife. But it's just something to sit and write every day. And to help keep it from feeling overwhelming, I limited myself to one page. And basically I said, I will write one page. And I don't write until I feel like I'm done writing. I have to stop at one page and wrap it up. And so far that hasn't been a problem. Every day I feel like I could write more, and I make myself stop, and that's helped because I haven't allowed myself to overdo it. But as I mentioned, it's not linear. This burnout recovery has been, fast some weeks, some months, and then I'll plateau for a while, and I don't feel like I'm making progress, but I just have to keep, I just have to stay with the strategy that I have, and stick with my priorities, stick with what I'm doing with work, keep myself organized. That morning routine, getting the kids on the school bus, taking a walk, make a cup of coffee, write in my journal while I drink the cup of coffee, slow roll into the morning, and then sit down and figure out what I need to do that day or plan that day, to start working. I have to force myself to log off still. I have tried to set limits on how many hours a day that I'm going to work. It doesn't matter when, if I don't feel like working in the afternoon, but I feel like working from, 8 to 10 p.m., so be it. I need to be productive, so there's sort of a minimum that I need to shoot for to hold myself accountable to get done during each week. But at the same time, I have to hold myself accountable to getting the rest and focus that I need to be able to go do the things that I need to do and I want to do, and spend the time with my family and doing what I want to do. So those activities have been helpful. And I've also had to forgive myself for things, because as I've recovered and gained situational awareness, gained emotional intelligence back, the energy and the ability to analyze what I'm feeling is coming back. I've had to forgive myself for things that I've done or things that I've said in the past to folks. I've actually reached out to a few people and apologized for things that I've said in the past when we were working together, or even my family, my wife and kids, that I have apologized for reacting a certain way. And that's been sort of freeing, but it's been an adventure. If you like what I'm doing, if you like the videos, subscribe, comment below, find me on Twitter. Importantly though, please share these. If you know somebody who's struggling, share the video with them and make them aware. Hopefully this helps. If this helps even just one person, that'll have helped these videos fulfill their purpose. So, alright. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up here. Until the next video, I'm Accidental CISO, and I'm out.